Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy happy day after the election. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the world. This is studentloanjustice.org. We are the oldest, first, largest, and only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. If you're new to the group, welcome. Glad that you found us. The smoke, we can see clearly now. The rain has cleared. The smoke has cleared. The election is over, and depending on where you sit, you can read into it whatever you want. It's like a kaleidoscope. Yeah, the Democrats didn't do as terribly as forecast. But at the same time, the Republicans are looking very good to take over the House, if not the Senate. So I don't know what to make of it. You can draw your own conclusions. I don't care. The only thing I care about is that the election is now over. You want to know, who won the election? I think the media won the election. Like, how many billions of dollars were spent on advertising? That's really the unspoken, invisible hand that's really shaping everything, in my humble opinion. The only thing I care about now, guys, is getting our bills passed by the end of the year. The Democrats probably did not hold the House, at least. So it is massively, massively important that we get our legislation passed by the end of the year, or else we are screwed. We're a fiercely nonpartisan group, by the way. If you're new to the group, we don't particularly like either party. We sort of hate them, in fact, in different ways. Sort of a good cop, bad cop thing, but we are no fans of the Democrats or the Republicans. But here we are. We are politically independent, but we are politically aware. And the fact of the matter is, guys, is that historically the Republicans have opposed us. And in a divided Congress, like has been the case for most of the 17 and a half years that we've been in existence, it is exceedingly difficult to get bankruptcy legislation passed. And by the way, the most important thing that I'll tell you tonight, guys, is this whole entire student loan scam lies in the unprecedented stripping of bankruptcy rights away from these loans. This Biden loan cancellation we just saw trotted out at the 11th hour as a Hail Mary election thing, it's nonsense. It was nonsense from the get-go, and now it may not even happen because of these lawsuits and etc. We said for many months that whatever Biden did, as long as the threat, the leverage of bankruptcy remains gone from the loans, it's going to be lame. And lo and behold, it's lame, if it even happens at this point. I don't care about any of that stuff, guys. All that matters is that we get our bankruptcy rights back. And we have two very good bills in the Senate and the House right now. S-2598 in the Senate, H.R. 9110 in the House. And this election, the only thing that matters to me is the fact that we are not going to have a unified Congress next year. So it's going to be incredibly difficult to get anything done, which makes passing our bills the most important thing in your life if you have student loans. And if you're like 85% of all student loan borrowers who were underwater on their loans even before the pandemic, whatever you want to see happen with your student loans, nothing good will happen unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have essentially 6 weeks to get our legislation passed. The bills are in perfect position to pass. In the Senate, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee is the sponsor of the bill, Dick Durbin. There's 2 Republican co-sponsors on that bill. And historically, Republicans have opposed bankruptcy legislation. I'm just going to say, I think I already said. We've got 2 Republicans on this bill. It could be passed through a committee and through the full Senate tomorrow. And on the House side, we expect some Republican support. We saw it last session. There's no reason we can't get it this session. Folks, we've got to push with everything we are worth for this legislation because come January 1st, if our bill doesn't pass, we are going to be served up like candy to the student loan industry. And believe me, guys, they've been sharpening their knives for 2.5 years or however long the repayment pause has been going on for. They want to get their money and they want to rip it from us. And if you thought the student loan program was predatory before COVID, you just wait and see what happens January 1st. If that date comes and we do not have the constitutionally required right of bankruptcy returned to us, we will be like pigs at the feast, and we're the pig. We're going to be like turkey at the Thanksgiving dinner. We're the turkey. I can't tell you how important it is that we get this legislation passed. And unfortunately, we apparently are the only group in the nation fighting for this legislation. What's going on with the other groups? I don't know. I could guess. I know at least one of those groups is straight up corrupted. But in general, I would say these groups don't actually want to solve the problem. They want to pimp the problem to grow their own little fiefdoms or whatever. I don't care. All I know is that we're the only group in the country fighting this fight, which makes us very important, which makes us the pioneers. We're the veterans, we're the pioneers, we're the tip of the spear. We are the freaking spear. If we don't do this, it is not going to get done, guys. This is the battle. This is the place. We need your help. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines up to this point, now is the time for you to get off your ass because we have 6 weeks. And guys, let me just say, the worst trick that's been played on us in the past is to foist a fake loan cancellation on us as a cheap substitute for the bankruptcy rights, the leverage of bankruptcy, the little tiny bit of power that we absolutely must have returned to us in order for anything to be anything good to happen. The bad guys have foisted fake loan cancellation gimmicks on us as a cheap substitute for bankruptcy for decades now, going back to 2008. We've been doing this for a long time, guys. We won't be fooled again. And if you're smart, or I guess if you trust that what I'm telling you is true, and it is, then you will do everything in your power to help us get this bill passed. Everybody's got a Congress member, congressman, congresswoman. Everybody's got 2 senators. Everybody needs to own this. This is your problem. These are your loans. This is your financial livelihood that's on the hook. And if you don't want to be tricked like we've been tricked so many times before, then you will do everything in your power to help us get these bills passed. The least that you can do is go to that link right there, bit.ly/SLJ Daily Action. We do daily actions every single day. We've got over 1 million people on our group, believe it or not. And if even 10% of those people were doing our daily actions, we would get our bills passed well before the end of the year. You know, if over 100,000 people a day were bombing the phones of Senator Dick Durbin and Congressman Jerry Nadler and Congressman David Cicilline, both in the House, we'd be done. And let me finish my point here. So Dick Durbin, chairman of the Judiciary, is the Senate guy. On the House side, Jerry Nadler is the sponsor of this bill. He also is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the House. So I'm telling you guys, these bills are ready to roll. They're ready to be passed right now. And the only thing that's missing is you fighting for them. Now, to those of you, and I'm looking for your comments now, by the way, for those of you who are doing the work and have been doing our daily actions, I salute you. We are the veterans, and we should be extremely, we are the group that made this whole thing happen. In fact, we are the group that made student loan cancellation happen. Nobody was talking about student loan cancellation, by executive order anyhow, before we launched our petition. In fact, we did the very first article interview ever with Vice News in August 2019 that simply asked the question, can the president cancel student loans by executive order? So we are fully on board with loan cancellation, guys. Make no mistake, this lending system is failed. The loans will not be paid. The loans will be canceled. Of that, there is no doubt. I am supremely, supremely confident that that is true. But the only question is whether these loans get canceled the good, quick, clean, economically stimulating way that helps the country, or whether it's a years or even decades long dystopian hellscape unwinding where, yeah, you'll get your loans canceled when you die. Like, I don't think we want that second thing, guys. I think we want that first thing. And the only way that's going to happen is when we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to us, as it exists for every other type of loan in the country. So you guys have no idea how important you are. Well, I think some of you do. Like the people who are watching this live stream probably do. And to all of you guys who have been out there in the trenches fighting this battle, I salute you. And we've got a lot to be proud of, I suppose. But guys, we are not there yet. We are not there. And everything comes down to whether or not we can get our bills passed by, I said the end of the year, but really it's before that because Congress goes back on recess on, I need to check this. I believe it's December 23rd. It may be December 19th. I will check that and I will have a hard, fast date for you next time, next live stream. So anyways, I'm just thrilled that the elections are over. Frankly, I'm stunningly disappointed both in the Democrats and in the Republicans. The Democrats could and should have passed bankruptcy before the election. They would have helped themselves tremendously in this election had they done so. They didn't. They lost at least the House. They didn't get walloped as badly as people were saying, but still, they lost. And shame on the Democrats. They had and have it in their party platform to return bankruptcy protections to student loans. So what were they thinking? How could they not have passed our bills before the election? What the fuck? Pardon my French, but it's almost like they wanted to lose. To me, it's almost like President Biden, he doesn't want to have control of the House and the Senate. He would rather be a lame duck president because then, I don't know, maybe the pressure's off of him and he can look like, oh, poor me. I can't do anything with Congress. Oh, poor me. I don't know what his psychology is, but it is just astoundingly amazing, baffling to me how the Democrats could be so politically moronic. Like there was no opposition to bankruptcy, none. There was Republicans writing articles calling for the return of bankruptcy to student loans before the election. So what were the Democrats thinking? It almost seems to me like a choice. Like they chose to completely tank in these elections. I don't get it. The only thing I'm maybe more disappointed in than the Democrats are the Republicans. They spent the past 3.5 months wagging their finger at student loan borrowers, saying, oh, you elitist, entitled liberals, young snowflakes. Oh, you want free stuff, and wag, and insult and degrade and humiliate us, the borrowers. We're not liberal, blue-haired, young snowflake. We're none of those things. We are a very fair cross-section of the American public. More than half of us are either Republican or independent. More than half of us are over the age of 35. We're no young, elitist, entitled young professionals that don't deserve help, don't need help, and nothing like that. The red states are being hurt far worse than the blue states. This should not have been a political football. It should have not been a partisan thing, and it's not. This is not a partisan problem. The people being hurt worst are typically from red states. More than half are, as I said, Republicans or independents. We have a ton of people in our group are veterans. They are people who went to trade school. They're plumbers and welders and truck drivers like Mike Cheney. Just one example. We are a very fair cross section of the American public, and both of the political parties completely missed the boat. And by the way, we are the largest politically untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. And both parties were like, fuck you. Democrats took us for granted. The Republicans wagged their finger at us like they didn't want our votes. And lo and behold, I think we did not disappoint either of them. We could have saved the Democrats majority. We could have caused the Republicans the red tide, groundswell, red wave that they were predicting. And neither of those things happened because they ignored us. Or if they didn't ignore us, they insulted us even worse. So shame on both parties. All right, guys. I am looking for all of your comments now. I'm gonna do a little Q&A. The most important thing, guys, the most important thing, the smoke has now cleared. The rain has cleared. The media had better start talking about stuff other than the election now. Like all that noise, all that distraction is now gone. We've got a clear path to victory for getting our bills passed by the end of the year. So we've got to fight. And if you don't fight, just get off of our group right now, because we're a working fighting group. And we don't need the dead weight. We don't need people hanging around the edges thinking that somebody else is going to pull their weight for them. That's never going to happen. Nobody on this group can pull your weight for you. And by the way, you're not better than us. Don't think that you're better than us. Don't think that you can sit on the sidelines and eat bonbons and say, oh, yeah, you do that. You do that. Get this problem solved. No. No directing on this group. This is a working, fighting group. You got to do your own work on this group. That's always been true, and that will always never not be true, if that makes any sense. Okay, sorry. Finally, I'm seeing your comments. Hey, Kara Rodriguez is with us tonight. Just waiting for your comments to load. Any thoughts you may have about the election? I'd be happy to hear it, though. Yeah. I'm so glad the elections are over. So disappointed in the Democrats and so disappointed in the Republicans in different ways, but it just astounds me how they totally didn't care about us. Listen, guys, here are the big numbers. There are 55 million people in the country who either have federal student loans or who have or are co-signed on private student loans. That's 55 million people, 85% of whom, that's more than 4 out of 5 of whom, are losing sleep over their student loans. They were either not paying, even before the pandemic, they were either not paying at all, and that's like over half, or they were paying, but their loan balances were going up, not down, up. So this is literally the largest. They're not paying at all, and that's like over half. This is literally the largest politically untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. You can elect a president damn near with 42 million distressed student loan voters. Think about that. Hey, Nicholas Linky says, hey, Alan, just finished sending a mass email to CNN and NBC about a misleading news article they fed to Twitter. I posted both bills and told them about our cause. Screw them for lying. Well, thank you, Nicholas. And let me just say, guys, the real battle, the real fight, I don't think it's going to be televised, guys. It's not going to be reported on, maybe a little bit, but it's not going to be in the mainstream media. It is not. The mainstream media likes to busy themselves with, cancellation, good or bad? Is Joe Biden's loan cancellation going to happen or is it not happening? Joe Biden's cancellation, 10,000, 20,000. Ooh, Pell Grant. It's all bullshit, guys. It's all bullshit. None of that stuff matters. That Biden loan cancellation was lame from the get-go, and it's lame today. And if it even happens, it will be bureaucratized into even more lameness as the weeks go by. It was just an election year ploy. Get that thought of Biden's cancellation out of your mind. We don't care about it, and neither should you. The real battle, which is not being reported on, is getting bankruptcy returned to the loans. Is it going to happen or is it not? If it happens, then everything changes. Everything from top to bottom. No matter what you want to see happen with your student loans, that's good for you. There's no hope of any of that happening as long as bankruptcy remains gone. There just is not. And that's the truest thing I'm going to say to you tonight. So thanks, Nicholas. Yeah, and we've been interviewed on CNN and NBC and MSNBC and CNBC and all the NBCs at this point. And the media ought to be ashamed of themselves. The media just latched on to, instead of reporting facts, the media latched on all this political nonsense, this rhetoric, all this bullshit about how canceling student loans will benefit the wealthy, which is complete bullshit. And by the way, if you go to our Medium site, and you can see why the claim that canceling student loans will benefit the wealthy is complete, provable bullshit. Yet the press never bothered to report the facts. The claim that canceling student loans will cost the taxpayers. Bullshit. The vast majority of the outstanding student loan portfolio is profit. It's not unpaid principal. It's profit. It's interest and penalties and fees and nonsense. The loans could be canceled tomorrow, and the taxpayers probably wouldn't be losing much, if anything. They might be losing nothing. But anyways, guys, I don't even care about any of that stuff. As I said, the real fight isn't what you read in Forbes fucking magazine, pardon my French, Forbes is terrible, or CNBC, all Yahoo Finance, anywhere on the internet. That's not the real battle, guys. The real battle is the constitutional right of bankruptcy. Whether you would ever or never file is not important. In fact, few people, maybe even no one, will actually have to file when we get the right returned. The thing that is important is us getting the leverage of bankruptcy returned. How many fucking times do I have to say that? Just think about it, please. Pardon my French, but I get so tired explaining and re-explaining again and again why bankruptcy is so important. And all these people come through and they go, yeah, but I don't want to file for bankruptcy. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. It's not important. I'm just so tired of repeating myself. So forgive me, but it gets very, very, very aggravating. So Gordon Wayne watches with us tonight. I missed 55. What song? The song was I Can See Clearly Now. The rain is gone. We can see clearly now. The election is done. The mist has cleared. The path is cleared for us to finally get to where we need to be. So guys, we cannot piss away this opportunity. This opportunity came, the last time we had this opportunity, it was 2008, and we got screwed. We cannot afford to be screwed again, guys. We cannot. You've got to fight. You've got to fight for S2598. You've got to fight for HR 9110. You need to pull out all the stops. And this is personal, because these are your loans and this is your livelihood that is literally on the chopping block. And whether or not we get these bills done by the end of the year will determine everything. Hey, Terry Dodd's with us tonight. Hey, Terry. Terry says, good evening, everyone. Christina Winton says, the borrower defense on repayment trial continues. The judge has not made a decision yet. Yeah, again, the borrower defense for repayment, again, is a side show. It's not important. Certainly, it's important to the 10,000 people or so who want to get their loans canceled, who were lied to by their colleges. But guys, that's not the battle. That is a side show. It is rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship. We're fighting the Titanic battle, not the lifeboat battle. We're fighting the Titanic battle, the important battle. And the whole borrower defense repayment is not it. Hey, Christina also mentioned two of our people, Lisa and Christina, are in a glamour contest. VoteFab40.com. Let me see if I can dial that up for you. It's a very famous glamour contest, which is crazy. But two of our people are in it, and both of them say they're fighting for student loan justice in their profiles. And I think they're both in the top 10 now, or top 15. I'm not sure. But this fashion contest is it is getting towards the important times. I think we're winnowed down to the top 15 or top 10 now. Vote for Lisa. Vote for Christina, and also vote for Lisa Ansell. Lisa was in first place last I checked. I'm not sure where Christina's at, but they're both like right up there. So this is a huge opportunity for us to get some very good, positive press for the battle for student loan justice. And I think it's pretty cool that they're marrying the world of fashion and student loan suckiness. So they are to be commended for that. And so please vote for both of them. You can vote for free. I think you have to, there's the links right there. There's the links to vote for both of these wonderful, beautiful women. Please do that. I think they give you like one vote a day for free, but you got to verify on Facebook and stuff. It's not that hard. It's easy to do. Hey, Terry Dodd says, we came too far to give up now. Block out the noise and do whatever you can to get these bills passed for us. Remember, our loans equal our problem. You know, Terry, I can't even add to what you just said. You just said exactly what the people need to hear. So from Terry's lips to your ears, come on, people, listen to Terry. If you're not going to listen to me, listen to Terry. You know, people talk about personal responsibility a lot. Well, here's your chance to prove that you are personally responsible by owning this problem, which is your problem, and fighting with us, with the Constitution, with the founding fathers who are on our side, and with 43 million other people in the country who, whether they even know about us or not, should be on our side. We are the veterans and the pioneers, guys, and we've got to, everyone within the sound of my voice needs to fight way harder than they probably should have to, but they do have to, because if you haven't noticed, we're it, guys. We are it. And if you don't do it, it is not going to get done. So just listen to Terry. Terry also says, so true. It's going to be a slaughterhouse no matter what party gets the House or Senate after the dust settles. Yeah. When January 1st rolls around, guys, if we don't have our bankruptcy rights back at the minimum, yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a slaughterhouse, what Terry said. And you can see our petition there, and you can see that we have over 1 million signatures. Where are those people now here tonight? I don't know, guys. I wish they were here. They're not here. There's just us. We're all we've got, guys. We're all we've got. On any given day, I see maybe a few hundred people fighting, maybe a few thousand on a good day. That's not nearly enough, guys. It's not enough. So we need to fight. We need to punch above our weight. We need to fight a little harder. In fact, a lot harder than one would think. But you can't unhear what I just said. Hey, Kara Rodriguez asks, hey, Kara, what should we be doing to promote the legislation beyond the daily actions now that the election is over? That's a great question, Kara. You know, there's a million things that people can be doing. Everybody has one member of Congress, of the House, whoever that may be. Maybe it's Democrat, maybe it's Republican. I don't know. There's only 11 co-sponsors on our House bill right now. So that means that 326 people are not co-sponsored on that bill. You should make it your mission and call them every single day if you have to. Get them to do whatever you need to do. Maybe call your local media, whatever you need to do to get your local member of the House, your House rep, your member of Congress, to co-sponsor HR 9110. That's what you need to do to get them to push that bill. Also, everybody has 2 senators. Maybe they're Republican, maybe they're Democrat. Doesn't matter. It's a bipartisan bill. Same exact thing. 1 congressman, 2 senators. Everybody has those 3 things. We need to push each of us individually have to push all 3 of those people every day from this day forward to push S2598 and HR 9110. Frankly, I recommend strongly calling your local newspaper, your local news station, your local radio station, whatever. You know, the press can and should be helping us. And if you can just explain why these bills are so important to them, and look at any of our articles, any of our Medium articles, and you can easily whip something together. That will help tremendously. I mean, you calling them personally, yes, that's very important. But they seem to act with a little more spunk, shall we say, when the media is involved. When they're getting reported on in the newspaper, they somehow seem to get a little more zip in their giddy up. Hey, our fearless co-leader was with us here tonight. Hey, Ed. Ed says all hands on deck. That's right. All hands on deck. I think that's a little play off my Titanic reference. So, Doug is with us tonight. Hey, Doug, man, I hope Doug had COVID. Sorry about that, Doug. I'm glad that's in the past tense. I had COVID too. I think many, if not most people, have had COVID at this point. Doug, we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're back. And it just makes me think, if you happen to live in a red state, like I happen to know Doug does, Indiana, if you happen to live in a red state, you need to fight even harder still. You need to break through all that nonsense about how student loan borrowers are these entitled, liberal, young, elitist, snowflakes. That's all just woke. That's all just bullshit. That's complete bullshit. The truth is something like the opposite of that. Hey, Jackie. Jackie's, you know what I'm talking about, Jackie. Jackie's in Texas. I'm in Wisconsin, so we're kind of a purple state, but yeah. Here's the thing about Texas. The people of Texas owe $141 billion in mostly federal student loan debt. More than half of those people are either Republican or independent. More than half of those people are over the age of 35, not under. A ton of those people are veterans. A ton of those people went to trade schools, truck driving school, plumbing school, you name it. Voc-Techs, auto mechanics. We need to spread that message. But that first thing, I can guarantee you, almost nobody in Texas, including maybe even the governor of Texas, Abbott, they don't even realize, $141 billion, I think that would buy probably, I don't know, something like half of all the oil reserves in the state of Texas or something. Maybe not that much, but it's a huge amount of money. The entire state budget of the state of Texas is somewhere around $120 billion per year. So we've already gone way past that. And if you live in states like Georgia or Florida or North and South Carolina, it's as bad, if not worse. It's worse in Georgia, by the way. It's actually maybe a little worse in Florida, depending on how you look at it. But it's the red states that are being wrecked, people. It is the red states that are being hurt the worst. So calling the media in red states and saying, hey, did you realize that we owe more than the entire state budget in mostly federal student loan debt? Did you know that? Why have you not reported that? That is a very strong thing. And of course, include stuff in that conversation about our bills. HR 9110 and S2598. So yeah, I'm glad for the question, Kara. Doing our daily actions is very important in that it's a massive collective muscle that we have to flex. If everybody on our group was doing those daily actions, we would melt down the Twitter accounts and the phone banks, the phone lines of everyone in Washington, D.C. that we targeted. So that's extremely important. But, on your own, pushing your 3 representatives, your 1 congressperson and your 2 senators through the media, ideally, is or in person and through the media, both. It's the most effective, most efficient use of your time, including the daily actions. By far and away, the most efficient, most effective use of your time. Jackie Abrams says the media is rigged and Republican-based to completely sucks. Yeah, Jackie, don't even get me started. The student loan mafia, they controlled the media narrative on this, and they've always controlled it, but they control it even more now. And it is just disgusting when you see 10 opinion pieces and 9 of them talk about how canceling student loans will benefit the wealthy and cause inflation. And one of them is supposedly on our side. And they go, oh, just cancel the loans. The kids need a break. The kids need the relief. It's that the whole thing is a false narrative. So like I said, guys, this fight, the only way this fight is going to be televised or reported on is if we make that happen. If we leave it to the student loan swamp and the other players in this game, the only reports we're going to see are going to be propaganda. It's going to be two sides of a coin. I don't care if they call for cancellation or argue against it. It's all a fake, false narrative. And in the meantime, bankruptcy is going to get forgotten about. Cannot count on the media, guys. We can make media. We certainly can't count on the media. We can't sit on our asses and think that this problem is going to solve itself. That's never been true. It's not true today. It will probably never be true. We, the people, we on this group are all that we got, guys. We're all we've got. Truly. It's the truest thing I'll say tonight. Or I've said a lot of true things tonight, but this all starts with us, guys. You sitting there have no idea how important you are. Jackie Abram, for example, I see tearing the nonsense out of Twitter every day. Thank you, Jackie. We salute you. You are a true, a veteran, a patriot, a pioneer in this struggle, and I just can't say enough about you. Jackie asked, "Can we clone our tweets so they triple or more each tweet?" I don't know how that works. Word of mouth is the only thing we got going, guys. We as an organization, we don't have any kind of a budget. And by the way, I'm sorry to ask, we have a tiny budget. It's like a few $1,000s a month. We don't have a staff. We don't have, Washington, D.C. offices. We don't have a press team or a media. We don't have any of that stuff, guys. All we have are people, normal, living, breathing people who typically are very distressed on their student loans. So all we have are people, guys. That's all we've got. So, but at the same time, that's really all that we need. So this is where it's at, guys. If I could think of anything more to say to get you off your ass and get you doing our daily actions at a minimum and getting you calling both of your senators and your congressmen, I would say it, but I think I'm out. I think I can't think of even one more thing to say, except that we need you. We're counting on you. You're counting on us. We can easily get this done when everybody helps. Keep us apprised as to your achievements, because we love to brag on that stuff. Little victories build on each other. So any true forward progress that you make with your legislator, with your congressman, with your senators, let us know about that so we can brag on it. I wish you the best of luck, the goodest of Godspeed. I'll be back on Friday. Ed, our fearless co-leader, will be with you on Thursday. God bless everyone.